Hey, Cormdale, I've got an important update for you on some changes to our worship gathering beginning this coming weekend, so listen up. As you know, this past week, the City of Omaha passed an indoor mask ordinance, which requires masks or facial coverings to be worn in situations where 6 feet of social distancing is not possible. Now, that mask ordinance did not change anything materially for Cormdale because, as you know, our worship protocols for the last 10 weeks have been built around a very intentional approach to social distancing. And so we could continue worshiping exactly the way we have been and still be in keeping with that city ordinance. However, the elders of Cormdale, as we've talked and prayed and sought the Lord, have received this as an opportunity to ask again, hey, is this a chance where we need to make some changes to allow more people to gather with us for worship? We have heard from many of you over the past month or so who would like to come to gathered worship. The reason you're not is because you're concerned about there not being a requirement for people to wear masks. And so we're going to make a change this weekend to add that in a way that hopefully will allow more of our church family to gather together for worship. So here's the change that's going to happen starting this Sunday. The 9 a.m. service will be a masks required service. So if you're coming at 9 a.m., you must wear a mask. At 11 a.m., we're going to keep that as a masks are welcomed service. But because we're going to maintain strict social distancing protocols in that service, it'll be like it's been for the last 10 weeks. You don't have to wear a mask. You're welcome to if you want to. But we're going to maintain 6 feet of social distancing to allow you to abide by that city ordinance even if you don't choose to wear a mask. Okay? Now, we think what this does is it opens up a great opportunity for more people to gather with us. It makes that 9 a.m. service a service where those of you who have been hesitant to come because masks aren't required, now we'd ask you to come at 9 a.m. And if you'd prefer to be in a service where you don't have to wear a mask, we invite you to come at 11. So I want to invite you to think about which of those two services would you prefer to come to. It might need to change sort of your Sunday morning rhythms. Maybe you're a person who wants to be in a service where masks are required. Please come at 9 a.m. If you're a person who'd prefer to be in a service where social distancing is maintained and that allows you to not have to wear a mask during worship, please come at 11 a.m., okay? Now that 11 a.m. service will continue to cap our capacity at 150 here in the sanctuary and 100 downstairs in the fellowship hall. And so if we reach that capacity, we'll ask you to go downstairs first, and then we might have to turn people away. We'll keep doing that as we have been doing at the 11 a.m. service. And so far we haven't had to turn anybody away because it's all worked out quite nicely, okay? So that's the change starting this weekend. Now I want to ask you a couple things. First, hear what options we're giving you and choose accordingly, okay? Don't be that person who shows up at 9 a.m. and tries to start a fight with an usher or a pastor about how you're not going to wear a mask. We're telling you right now, the 9 a.m. is a mask required service. Just honor that. And if you're going to be that person who really prefers to exercise freedom here, come at 11 where we are going to be intentional about social distancing and where the service is built around that, okay? So don't start fights that we don't need to have. I know that's what social media exists for, so you can go do that there. Don't do it in your church, all right? Secondly, hey, let's embrace this as an opportunity to build unity. Our concern as elders, as we've evaluated this option, and we've been thinking about this kind of option for 3 or 4 weeks now, our concern as elders has been, man, it's a chance for one of two things. It's either a chance for division or it's a chance for unity. Because, you know, our church could divide into here's the mask service and here's the less masky service, and, you know, we're sort of like judging each other based on what service we come to. That's not what we want. What we want is an opportunity to say, hey, here's a way that more of our church family can come and gather for worship on Sunday. Here's a way we can love each other despite diverse preferences and opinions on this subject. Here's a way we can abide by city regulations by doing services differently according to people's preferences. Let's see this as an opportunity to embrace unity together. We certainly don't need, in light of where our culture is, any more division, any more dissension, or any more distraction from the mission of God and from the unity that we have in Jesus Christ. All right? So I'm excited about how this opens up the opportunity for us to gather together for worship on Sundays. I hope that many of you who have been waiting for an opportunity like this will now choose to join us at 9 a.m. I want you to know your elders love you, and we have been praying and working hard to try to think about how do we love our church well in the midst of this. So know that, man, I'm really thankful for the elders that I get to lead alongside. We have taken this very seriously. We've prayed and thought and been on the phone late at night with each other trying to sort out, hey, how do we lead well and think well and read well and reason well on these things? So know that we are working hard. We love you, and we're trying to serve you as best we can. I look forward to seeing you this Sunday as we begin the book of Ecclesiastes.